Before we start today's show, today we want to give a big shout out to Buzz TV. Man, Buzz TV has some really good devices, man. Like this last year, they've come up with some good stuff, and this new year, I'm excited to see what they got.
Yo, it's going to be straight fire. Some devices and features, because I don't want to say one or the other. With Buzz TV, it's hand in hand. They've dropped some fire devices and some amazing features that are always taking things to the next level.
So don't forget to check out the description below.
You know, no matter where you guys are listening, watching, whatever from, make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, that like, drop us a comment, and the reviews actually help us a great deal. If you're looking to do anything for us in this year coming and beyond, the reviews help other viewers like yourself find this podcast and enjoy it as well. So thank you guys. And with all that being said, let's start the show.
And we are back.
What?
I'm back. People are probably wondering, like, who the hell is this guy? Who is this guy?
Who's this Mexican who got a 10?
If you guys are watching the video, you guys can see I actually did get a tan. No, I didn't go on vacation. Actually, dude, look at this. You can actually see the tan line from my hair. Like I almost gave myself a 5 o'clock shadow on my forehead. Yeah, so I'm back. I'm back with Beyond the Streams. Sorry about the hiatus I took. It's been about 2 weeks. So I'm pretty sure people are wondering, like, what the hell happened to Rojowski? So a couple announcements, I guess. Been dealing with a lot of stuff here, and not really going to say exactly what, where, who, why, when, or none of that stuff. But there's a company that reached out, and I started to tell Next Level this. I'm just like, let me just wait to hit record so I can kind of tell you exactly what's going on. So not really going to say exactly who or what their intentions are yet. I could tell you, though, what they want me to do, though. So if you want to call it being a contractor, I'm not leaving as a content creator. I'm still going to be here, still going to be doing my thing. They actually encouraged it. They actually said, continue doing what you're doing. Like, you have a really good platform and we like what you do. Just continue doing what you're doing. So they're looking at possibly making me, let's call this company ABC. Not ABC Studios. Not ABC Studios. Okay, how about XYZ? How about Star Wars? They want me as their marketing manager, marketing director, marketing something, you know?
Let's say marketing influencer.
Marketing influencer. They're looking for me to help them with their marketing. And that doesn't mean what I'm going to be doing there, it's coming to Rojas's channel or Beyond the Streams channel. They want me to continue doing with what I'm doing. They don't care what I do with what I'm doing. It's just I'm going to be working exclusively with their stuff on their platforms. So they're actually talking about Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, commercials, like anything that has to do with like getting their product out to the audience. I'm pretty much gonna be in charge of that whole production of how it looks like. Is it, I don't know what you call it, like personable? Is it like you know, is it grabbing your attention? You know what I mean?
I just want to see on your resume where it says Rojas, and then underneath it, it says TikToker.
TikToker. I'm gonna start doing the the dances.
Oh my God. Don't do it. Just stop. Just stop.
But yeah, so they want me in charge of handling a lot of that stuff, including reviewers. Anybody that comes in to review stuff, they want to be sure if they're a good fit or not. Also, possibly looking into not only making all this stuff in my current language, English, but they're also talking about Spanish, Indian, French, like different languages. Yeah, so it's going to be interesting. It's a lot of the emails that are coming in when people are asking for product or looking at can we review this, or like it's gonna be like centralized in one area. And right now, you know how a lot of companies are. Most people wear many hats, you know?
Right.
And this is one hat that everybody's kind of spread really, really thin on, but haven't really grasped on what to do with it.
Right.
So we're in talks, in conversations right now. And I think the ball is in my court right now on trying to figure out a couple things. And then I got to shoot it back to them and see what they think. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess I might not even be able to say exactly, or maybe I don't even want to say exactly where I'm going to be at.
Personally, I would. Personally, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say anything until things are actually final, right? Because people are going to have their own opinions, and quite frankly, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What's your name again? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we got to do what's best for ourselves, what's best for our families, what's best for our careers. And we see it happen all the time. Like when we saw Elias from AFTV News, he left his own company and he went to go work for Amazon, right? I'm not saying that you're going to work for Amazon, but you never know where the opportunities are going to lead you. And a lot of people never know where being a content creator leads them and what path it leads them down, right?
I'm raising my hand here.
Oh, you don't know? Right. Yeah, you don't know. I don't know. I have no idea, right?
Yeah.
That threw me off for a second. I was like, what are you doing? You trying to say something?
Actually, I did have a second announcement.
Okay.
And this is something that, as I was starting to tell you earlier before we hit record, I'm like, maybe I'll just wait until we hit record. Somebody reached out from Amazon to apply for a position.
For you to apply for a position?
And it's in the Fire TV wing. I'll say that.
Very interesting. That's very
Somebody did email me and said, hey, we've seen your stuff. We've actually had a few people referred, I guess, me over. And they asked if I would be interested in a position there. And I thought that was very, very interesting. I thought that was very, very interesting. I was just like, whoa, really? And yeah, right now when you started saying about Elias and going through the whole lab
126, I think it was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah. So I got to start cleaning my resume a little bit because that's going to be shooting over there too. But it's going to, yeah, TikToker. But it's kind of like with both companies, they've both said that they're both salary positions. I could probably do both also, actually. I'm not looking for full-time either.
Right. With us still wanting to maintain being a content creator, you can't do anything else full-time. Because content creation is more than full-time work.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I guess I'll give you guys a scoop more as it's coming around.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards one than the other, and you probably know which one I'm leaning towards more.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but we all have to understand, if you guys are trying to figure out, well, why don't you just keep doing YouTube, or why don't you just do this, or why don't you just do that? We've seen the struggles. Everybody has seen the struggles that we go through as content creators, from videos being struck down to channels being taken down to videos being demonetized. If you want to stay active as a content creator, you have to diversify yourself in a plethora of different things, right? And you get to a point where you have to make several decisions, because you show that you're worth something. You have value, and you end up getting messages from companies that have reached out, and you've done I don't want to say deals in the past, but you've done either reviews or marketing or branding, or maybe they've sponsored you. Like, you never know where those relationships, as long as you are a half decent person and you don't burn your bridges, are going to take you.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's a good segue into the first article on our list today, which gave me a WTF moment. I read read the title and I was like, my head, what does this even mean? So the title of this article says, Amazon blows eFuse on Fire TV stick to prevent downgrading to the old interface. And I was like, what?
Wait, what? What? Wait, say that one more time.
Amazon blows eFuse on the Fire TV stick to prevent downgrading to the old interface. So apparently there's some kind of, I'm just as like how my brain's processing. I haven't read the article yet. I'm gonna read it with you guys. But my brain is processing it like there's some kind of, I guess, electronical fuse. And once the new interface goes in, it like fries the eFuse so you can't downgrade to the previous interface.
So the current interface, or I guess, okay, so we're talking about the interface that was just here a few months ago.
Well, now it's actually rolled out to the new devices. Like my 4K sticks have them now. The cubes have them. So it's
right.
It's
But I'm talking about the old one, the one that was here last year, not the one that they just started pushing out. They don't want you to roll backwards to that.
No.
Wow. And they're making your thing explode.
virtually.
That's what I called it. Amazon Fire TV explodes.
Boom. Virtually. So it says the new Fire TV interface is currently rolling out on most Fire TV models via the latest operating system update. While there has never been an official way to roll back a Fire TV software update, Amazon seems to especially want the new interface to update to be a one path only. It seems as though Amazon has decided to blow an eFuse, at least with the Fire TV Stick 4K. When the software updates with the new interface is installed, this makes it impossible to downgrade back to the old interface, even if the device is rooted. So
wow.
Amazon doesn't even care. Like you root the device, yeah, you have full access to do what you want with the OS. They're like, nope, you still can't do it.
Wow. That's crazy.
The interesting thing that I guess, well, you know what? I guess it's not really interesting, but when the update came out for the new interface on the 4K stick, they didn't update the operating system. So yes, the Fire OS is updated, but the actual operating system on the 4K stick is still running 7.1 versus the Lite and the third gen that is running Android 9. So that was something that was a little bit interesting to me, but we also have to look back at, this isn't the first time that they've changed the user interface. The previous sticks were running different versions of Android as well, right?
Yeah.
And I've heard some people say that the new operating system on the 4K sticks and the newer devices actually takes up less room on the hard drive. So maybe it's a good thing. People just got to get used to it. I know I'm not a huge fan of it yet. I actually prefer the older one. So yeah. I'm not sure.
Actually, you know what? It's funny because I was just about to ask you this too.
Yeah.
What do you think of the new interface now that it's on the 4K Fire Stick? Actually, I think it's on all the devices now.
Yeah.
What do you think of the new Fire TV interface?
So it kind of feels like they're trying to do their own version of Android TV. Now it looks like they're amalgamating everything on the home screen so that you can get access to everything right there on the home screen. You don't have to go to like different tabs or different areas. Everything's right there for you. But I feel like certain things feel a little bit more squished, and I kind of miss the size of the application icons that used to be on the recent and the My Apps line. Right? They have that one line where you can organize your apps, but it's not as large. And I guess it's because most of my devices I'm using on, a 21-inch monitor here. Everything seems a lot smaller. If I was using it on a bigger TV, it'd probably be different.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably just going to take me a little bit longer to get used to. And I think that's the main thing.
I kind of like it. Like my first impression was I'm on the home screen.
Mm-hmm.
There is my apps that I put up to the front.
Yeah.
It's like right there. I don't have to go anywhere else. What I really like is because the Fire Sticks are geared towards people that have Amazon Prime. The cool thing for me is because it's not blasted with Prime all over the place. I have just the apps that I need in the very, very front. As I could actually see them all right there. It's not too big.
Yeah.
But I don't know. For me, I kind of like it. It's. I will say this. I when I was scrolling down and trying to look for like all apps and like all that stuff, it took a second for me to like really look everywhere. I'm like, damn, this kind of sucks, But then at the same time, I'm like, I don't need to go all over the place because the ones that I will always use are right here. It's almost like, so I still have a 4K Fire Stick and I run an Nvidia Shield also. My Shield, I have the apps that I use right on the front at the very top. Boom, boom, boom. So it kind of reminds me like that a little bit. But I don't know. What's interesting though is I started doing some research on the Roku.
Yeah. They've been coming out with a lot of new devices too.
Say again?
They're coming out with some new devices too.
Yeah. So I know you and me have been very like anti-Roku, but now we're going to have to like jump in on it a little bit just because it is one of the most popular streaming devices out there.
I think it is either neck and neck with the Fire Stick or they might have more devices on the market.
I think they have more. I think from what my research is the Roku has more than the Fire Stick. And when I was doing some research on it, I started really digging into it. I'm just like, the Roku is the most neutral streaming device out there. A lot of streaming devices are very catered to
a service.
A service, whatever it is. Right. Like Prime, you got your Fire Stick, you got your Chromecast, you got Netflix, and even with your Shield, it's very specific. Hulu, Netflix, like all the premium services.
Yeah.
They're very built around those services, but the Roku is not like that. The Roku is very like, here are your apps. That's it. You click on your app that you want and you're in. The only thing, of course, that we don't like about Roku is that you can't get into like a developer options and really do whatever you want with it.
At the end of the day, that's a lot of work. I mean, a lot of people are going to be like, well, they're going to do what they're going to do anyways, but you're going to have to stay up to date. You have to do a lot of research. Things are changing all the time. If you're trying to go that route, we don't recommend it. There's a lot of great services out there. We keep talking constantly about, Disney Plus and all the content they keep coming out with. So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what device you end up getting. If it's a Chromecast, Roku, Fire TV, Nvidia Shield, I don't know. What's that stupid one from Walmart, the On Stick? I don't know. Like, it doesn't matter because these applications are going to be able to be installed on all of them, and they don't use a whole lot of system resources, right?
Yeah.
So,
and I think that's the key. If as long as your apps are on there of what you need. I know like what is it, Peacock? You can't put Peacock on a Fire Stick.
oh, it's the old. Oh, so you can put it on there, but the older Fire Sticks, I think it is, you need mouse toggle and it's garbage. So
Yeah,
like,
so it
why still
depends.
use the older Fire Stick right now?
Right.
I'm going to say this right now. The Fire Stick Lite is on sale. We'll put a link in the description or something, but don't stick with the older Fire Sticks. Just stop it. It's $20.
Yeah. Look, we're in 2021. If you didn't buy a device in 2020, this is the year to do it. Just do it. And as always, in our videos, in Next Level's channel, my channel, we always put links in the description. And we try to give you guys hookups. So check out the links. We're always going to hook you guys up with the best way possible. And some people will say like, oh, you guys get a cut from it. We're talking about pennies, and you guys don't pay anything extra.
Listen, you don't even have to click our link. Just go to Amazon your damn self and Google Fire TV Stick if you want. Like, it don't matter.
There you go. There you go. Okay.
I have another quick question for you, though.
Yeah.
Before we move on, since we're talking about devices, some people are waiting right now. They're waiting anxiously for a new Shield. Because, historically, there was 2015, 2017, 2019, and we're in 2020. And I thought it would be a very interesting conversation because we're talking about devices. We recently did a podcast where we talked about Nvidia Shield giving up on their Tegra processor
and giving it to Nintendo.
However, Nvidia Shield has just announced that they're producing their own CPUs now.
Mm-hmm. Heard about that. So are we going to get a new Nvidia Shield? Are they going to call it the Shield Armor?
Do you want me to answer that question first?
Go for it.
I'm going to go with no. And the reason I'm going to go with no is because I think that it's too early into their development phase to either come out with a new chipset for a Shield, because there's been a lot of changes that NVIDIA has gone through within the last year. And it's been a lot because they've acquired the ARM company. They're working on their CPUs. There's a lot of deals they're doing with Nintendo. And the other thing is they haven't really come out with a new product ever for the Shield. People can talk all the crap they want to talk. The only new thing they came out with was the Pringle can or the cigar, the stogie, whatever you guys want to call it. The round one. And that one wasn't even really meant for gaming. And I'm going to give the same answer that I said in regards to the Cube. When people said, are we going to get a new Cube? I said, no. In my opinion, I think that we're going to see a Cube bundle before we see a new Cube. And it's the same thing I'm going to say about the Shield. I think we're going to see a Shield bundle before we see a new Shield that comes out, so that they can, because remember, they just doubled the price of their GeForce Now.
Mm-hmm.
They're expecting that it's worth a certain value. So I think that they think that it's worth a certain value. They're going to try to bundle and build around that atmosphere, that ecosystem of the NVIDIA Shield experience and the gaming experience versus coming out with a new device. Just my personal opinion. I could be completely wrong.
Well, I think... Oh, this is interesting. So this is interesting. With everything that's happening in the world today, I think the Shield should push something out either end of summer or right before winter. Like anywhere from September, October, or November. Anywhere within those 3 months, they should push something out. It's rumored Amazon Prime Day is going to be happening a little sooner than later.
Mid-June, the end of June.
Yeah, and it typically happens in July.
Mm-hmm.
And last year was just chaotic that they didn't do it until
October.
Like October, yeah.
October, yeah.
So there's rumor that they're actually going to be pushing it even a little bit sooner than what they normally do. So June would be, I think, a perfect month. I have a feeling. I know Nvidia has to focus on making sure that their chipsets work before they could really start doubling down. But knowing how Nvidia is with their graphics cards and some of the stuff that they've produced so far, I don't see them failing at producing a good chip. I think what's going to happen, these guys are going to say, hey, here comes Prime Day. Remember, we don't see Nvidia Shields go on sale that often.
Mm-hmm.
Prime Day usually is the day that they'll do it for like a few hours, like an hour or two.
It's true.
So they might say, hey, here's Prime Day. Let's sell the stogie for $100.
Right. And then after Prime Day, they do something. But the other reason I kind of don't think that they're coming out with something is because they are very heavily invested in the EV or the autonomous automotive industry at this point. And they're partnering with a lot of companies to develop their AI engines. So I think that, well, I mean, Nvidia is a big enough company to have separate departments for separate things, but it's interesting to see how well they can handle it. And I think it'll prove how well they handle their different departments if they can produce a new Shield this year. Because, for instance, LG is in the automotive industry, and they just dropped their whole mobile division.
I know. That's a whole freaking what the hell episode too on that. Yeah. Yeah. So I like agree and disagree with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I could see them not doing it. I could see them dropping it completely and say, hey, we don't need to be doing the Shield no more. At the same time, I hope they do because, like you said, they just doubled down on their GeForce.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there is a lot of people gaming on computer and they use Steam. Like Steam is super popular. Like I think Steam is more popular than GeForce. Anytime I ever hear people 100%. Say anything about it, Steam.
For sure.
But if they have another Shield, and you know what, the remote, the actual remote control, that's a badass remote.
Yeah.
I love that. I still got mine. I love that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe, I don't know, maybe tweak it just a little bit. Don't change the structure of it. Come up with a new freaking Shield and with a new chipset, whatever you're going to call it. And shoot, I don't care if you guys don't do it until after Black Friday even. You know, like double down, sell as much as you can for Prime Day, double down again and sell as much as you can off of Black Friday, Cyber Monday in November. And then first week of December, Merry Christmas. Here's a new device.
If they do drop, end a device, I feel like it would be the Pro. They're going to keep that cylinder one around for at least a few more years.
Yeah, and if they do that Nvidia Shield, it's called the Shield TV, right? They're just called Shield TV.
Yeah,
and then the Pro is the box.
Is the box, yes.
So, yeah, maybe they'll just do Shield TV Plus, and then Shield TV Pro Plus.
No, I think they're going to get. Well, they never changed the design of the actual Pro. All they did was just make it worse and worse.
And change the damn remote.
And change the remote. I know people are going to hate on me for saying that, but I get kind of angry when people keep reboxing the same damn thing and just reprice tagging it. So, anyways, that's my rants on the new Shield. I don't think that they're coming out with a new one this year. Rojas is on the fence. So I think it's a good conversation topic. You guys let us know in the comment section down below what you guys think, right? Is there going to be a new Shield or is there not? Maybe we'll put a poll in the Beyond the Streams Telegram group or channel.
There you go. We'll figure it out. Okay, Netflix in the freaking news again. Netflix will get exclusive streaming rights to future Sony films. Now, real quick, real quick, because I was reading this thing too. I was just like, wait a minute, what? The deal includes Uncharted as well as upcoming Spider-Man titles and other Marvel films. Now, real quick, before anybody flips their lid, because they're going to say, what about Disney Plus? Marvel owns... I'm sorry, I should say that back. I almost said that backwards. Disney owns Marvel. Disney owns Marvel. A good chunk of it, not all of it. Fox Studios also owned a piece of Marvel, and so does Sony. Sony owns a good piece of Marvel. Now, Disney bought out Fox Studios. So now, like X-Men and some of those characters are now back home to Marvel. But Sony owns pretty much the entire Spider-Verse. Like everybody that you can think of from Spider-Man and all the villains and bad guys and good guys and everything that revolves around Spider-Man, they own just about all of it. And I think they also own Hulk and everything revolving around Hulk.
I was just Googling, trying to figure that out. I'm like, what else do they own? Because I know it's not just Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Trying to figure it out.
It's Spider-Man and everything about Spider-Man. And I know it's Hulk and some of the bad guys that Hulk's around with. They don't own like,
so
what's it called?
In 2008, Sony Pictures had the distribution rights for Iron Man and the Incredible Hulk in Spain and Japan. So I guess it depends on where and when.
I think they don't own Iron Man anymore. I think that's now Disney.
April 11th.
I'm almost pretty sure that's Disney owned. But anyway, so I don't know, man. Sony has butchered, not as bad as Fox. Fox pretty much butchered a lot of the Disney, the Marvel stuff, but Sony's like, I really hope they don't mess up Venom and Carnage.
Man, I am so looking forward to that movie, man.
Me too, and I hope they don't jack it up. I think Venom, the first one, wasn't that good. It was okay.
I loved it. But we have different tastes in movies.
It was okay.
Okay. I when I watched that first Venom movie, I imagined that a dog's personality in a symbiote, and that's how I got Venom. Can I eat this? Can I eat that? Why not this? So I just pictured Venom was a dog.
Okay.
And I thought it was hilarious. I thought that what's that guy? Tom Hardy? I thought he did a decent role as an actor playing that, right? I wasn't trying to think too much of the actual comics. I was looking at face value of what it actually was.
Me too. I wasn't really looking too much at the comics. I think they introduced She-Venom way too freaking soon.
I can agree with that.
Yeah. Like when they did it for a second, I'm just like, no, don't do it. Don't freaking do it. And they kind of went away from it pretty quickly, you know? But I don't know. I think it was just, I don't know. Something for me was missing. And I think they just should have really focused on his origin and how Venom comes. And I liked it how they did the whole vigilante where he's like not sure if he's good or bad. He's kind of good, but he's more on the bad side.
Yeah,
which I'm good with. I'm good with. The thing is,
would I be correct to classify him in the same category as like Punisher and Morbius?
He leans more bad guy than Punisher. Punisher leans more good guy.
Okay.
But Punisher is more like, you know, he's the judge and the executioner.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Venom is more like the executioner versus the judge, you know? So, yeah, it's oh, man. Lobo is a bad guy, right?
Lobo's an interesting character. I like Lobo. When I was
Lobo
a kid,
too.
I had scratch and sticks stickers for Lobo. I would put them all over the house, and you would scratch them, and you would smell them. I don't remember what it smelled like.
His ass. But yeah, I don't know. I think they're doing Carnage way too freaking soon. Honestly, I was really hoping Venom became Venom in part 2. Like, okay, you got your story. Here he is. He's a little confused. And I was hoping in part 2 he went on a freaking killing spree. Like he just started getting like I wish he just went on a killing spree. Like he just went psycho and just started.
I see what you're saying. You wanted more story about the actual mental battle between Venom and the host, the symbiote and the host. That's what you wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
And the first one was kind of like, okay, here he is. The second one, I'm like, let him become Venom. Dude, they could have done like 6 movies. They could have said, here is Venom now, on part 2. Mm-hmm. And then they could have done Spider-Man versus Venom.
Right, because, in the comics, Venom has a really hard, not Venom, but, the host has a very difficult time controlling the urges of Venom. And there's a couple times where they, just like every character, they have to bring in a woman to calm him down. Mm-hmm. Right? So there should have been more about that battle, more about, I guess, introducing their kryptonites and then going from there. So for sure. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. And then it would have been great. Part 3, Spider-Man versus Venom. Hmm. Dude, that would have been awesome. Like 2 freaking web slingers going crazy at each other. Mm-hmm. And it's pretty much like the Venom struggling. Like, dude, like I'm trying to be good, but I have these urges. And then Spider-Man being like, no. It's almost like Iron Man versus Captain America. Like they're both good guys.
Yeah.
Iron Man's just pissed off at freaking Bucky for killing his parents and has nothing to do with Captain America besides he kind of knew what happened. But
yeah,
it would have been super cool if they did that. And then they kind of like Carnage pretty much comes at the end of that. And then dude, end of movie. Boom. These guys stop. Done.
In the comics, there was a lot of story that was based around Venom and Spider-Man. They initially didn't start off liking each other at all. Right? They had to go through their trials and tribulations and their own battles. And I kind of get where you're coming from because it feels like they're skipping all of that story. And it almost feels like they're just going to jump into Venom and Spider-Man are best buds.
Yeah. All of a sudden.
All of a sudden.
Because and that's why I'm like, oh.
and it kind of plays into why you feel like I call him Carnage, you call him Carnage. You sound French. I'm just saying,
Carnage.
Die. Okay, you're gonna make me lose my train of thought on that one. Okay, so let me get back to it. Yeah, by bringing in such a big, impactful villain, you automatically are meant to assume that Venom and Spider-Man, if they were to be in the same movie, have to team up together and be friends.
Exactly.
And I agree with you at that point that it is too early to bring in such a major villain into that universe. I agree with you.
Yeah, it sucks. It's so by Sony, like I'm kind of like, okay, cool. Netflix is getting these exclusive rights with Sony. Mm-hmm. Sony is trying to capitalize on, dude. Sony's gonna drag Spider-Man down to the mud until they can't do nothing with it, and then they're gonna sell it to Disney.
Well, yeah,
dude, that's what happened to Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
so I think I don't know how they're gonna put the brakes on this. They really can't because they've already announced Carnegie.
Cardigan.
Cardigan. They've already announced Okay, how do you say it? I'll say how you say it.
Carnage.
Carnage.
Yeah.
Carnage. Carnage.
Oh my god! Did you see the comments on the episode where you're talking about browsers and you called Opera Oprah?
Yeah. They're just making fun of me. What about Huawei? Hawaii?
Oh my god.
Dude, it's I don't know, maybe like if they're gonna have those two guys fight, let them fight. And then if they're gonna introduce Spider-Man in like a part 3, mm-hmm. then dude, have it a freaking 3-way fight, Like don't make Venom and Spider-Man best buds. And they already talked about Spider-Man being in the Venom movie. I'm like, come on. I'm like, please please don't butcher it. Please don't butcher it. And I have a feeling, I just have a feeling they're going to butcher it. And remember, Spider-Man in the MCU, they are slowly building what is it, Sinister Six?
Yeah.
They're building those characters.
Six, yeah.
And I think they've confirmed 4 Spider-Man movies. So I don't know. I know they have this shared right within Sony and Disney, and they're throwing Spider-Man back and forth. I just really, really hope that if Sony, I feel for Netflix. Netflix lost all those Disney Marvel characters, Disney Plus, and then so Sony's like, hey, we'll come in and give you exclusive stuff from our library, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I have a feeling that and this is a 5-year agreement. They'll pay Sony about $1 billion.
Million.
It's just, man, I don't know.
Down here says the deal will cover blockbuster movies like Morbius, Uncharted, as well as the sequel to Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, and future installments of Venom and Spider-Man. In addition to new releases, the deal will also consider some older films from Sony's catalog. I don't know. I am curious, though. Here's a silly question for you. Do you think either Netflix or Sony could help DC?
Wait, say that again?
Do you think Netflix or Sony could help DC? Because we talked about it on countless times that DC kind of struggles with their movies and their kind of storylines. Do you think that Netflix or Sony could help them?
Here's the thing, though. Sony has done a horrible job. And it's okay. I don't want to say horrible job, because the first Spider-Man with what's his name, Toby.
That's the only one that I really liked, though.
It was okay. It was decent.
I just never really cared about watching the other ones.
With the other guy, the why am I thinking Patrick Swayze?
Wow.
No, the Amazing Spider-Man, that had potential to be good, but the guy wasn't wacky enough. And then, dude, Spider-Man became Spider-Man when freaking Disney said, "Here, this is your Spider-Man." So I don't. Oh boy, yeah. I don't know, dude. I think at this point, I think whoever could help DC, dude, they got super lucky that the freaking Gun was it the Gun Brothers,
James Gunn and those guys. But Zack Snyder, he did an amazing job with the remake. Did you finish watching that?
Yes. Oh man. Okay. We're gonna take a side tour on this thing real quick, and I'm pretty sure when you're clipping this thing, because this was a whole hell of a long conversation, you'll find where to clip it between here and the next segment. But okay, hear me out on this. I'll say, okay, this is what I'll say. I think most people can agree that Justice League was horrible. Okay, anybody out there, please answer this question. How can you take a horrible movie and add a bunch of extra clips that didn't exist and now call it amazing? It's like saying, "Hey, let me take a dump. Let me crap on the floor. Let me spray it with a lot of perfume, and then it smells amazing." Oh man, I was on Telegram and I posted like the first hour and a half that I watched, and I was like,
"It's the same movie."
I'm like, it's the same thing. I'm like, there's a couple extra things that they added, but nothing extra. And then I watched the next hour and a half the next day, and I'm just like, well, so they kind of expanded a little bit more, but I still don't like how they just threw up all over Cyborg and all over freaking the Flash. and said, here they are. And it's like, dude, those two characters need their own movies separate. Why are you trying to throw origin stories on there and kind of explain it within like 10, 15 minutes? And then why is it here comes Aquaman, shirts off, slow motion, and then women, oh, like they sing for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes or whatever it is. Dude, there was like 2 or 3 scenes where Aquaman comes in, slow motion, and there's females singing in the background. I'm just like, but why? And they were like, they were like 10-minute songs. Like they're just, I'm like, well, no wonder this is a freaking 30-hour movie. And then, oh, dude, dude, Wonder Woman, when she came in, they used her theme song. Like, every time there was some kind of action with Wonder Woman in, they always threw her theme song in there. And I'm just like, I'm thinking like what, dude, did you guys just throw up all these ideas and said, hey, let's just do this? And every time like Wonder Woman comes in, we'll just use her song from over there. And when this other person comes in, we'll use his song from over there. Oh, here comes Aquaman. Slow motion. I don't know, dude.
I think what it is that for the fans that are of DC, they've seen what Marvel has done with their multiverse and how they've intertwined so many things that they've been dying and hoping and sitting on the edge of their seat for them to interact their characters. Every time there's a crossover in the TV show, people get excited. They want you to get excited, but then it doesn't really go anywhere from there, right? It's like an episode and then it's gone. And it's never really accomplished in the movie section. And people get excited when they start to see every character under the sun in one movie. Yes, it was a 4-hour movie, but now they're just hoping that they can do something in the upcoming movies with all this extra content. But we have to also understand this was extra content. This wasn't actually a
separate movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. For everybody out there that says, dude, you guys are crazy, that movie was so much better than the first Justice League.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. Yes, it was better than the first Justice League because they had a couple extra things that they explained, but it's not a great movie. It still sucks. Like, dude, think about this. Marvel, Avengers, their opening scene when they had all the Avengers in one picture with all the aliens coming down. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
They had the camera span around the Avengers. And they're all like looking around, like getting ready. And it was just like, dude, goosebumps. Like, holy crap, this is going to be a big battle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Slow motion for a few seconds. And then let's action. Okay. How are you going to do a DC Justice League movie where there's slow motion? You got Batman in his car and you got everybody else flying and they're going to attack and they're all like coming in to take down a building. Dude, that's what it like they started to fight. They were already fighting the aliens and everything. And then all of a sudden when they all finally like got together, when it's just like, hey, let's do an Avengers moment where we have all the characters together and they all come forward. They were coming forward in slow motion. And I was just like, aren't they just running through a building? Why are they highlighting this? Like, this is the coolest thing. Like this is your moment.
Yeah.
Boom, explosion. And there's one little alien at the top of the building that was shooting at them. I'm like, really? All of you guys had to go there to explode that building for one alien? That's your highlight? So I'll close with this. I did finish it. I watched the rest of it. I think the rest of it, when they were like, oh, Superman became a bad guy, they have the Joker, they have like all these people like coming out or whatever. I'm just like, dude, you guys are just throwing up even more. Like it's giving me nothing but more questions on how we even got here to begin with. And I know they're trying to leave it as a cliffhanger, but it was just like, dude, there's so much going on in this film that you are not I don't even know what the right words is. I could watch Avengers and I could be like, let me watch this movie in Iron Man's perspective. Now let me watch this movie in freaking Captain America's perspective. You could watch that movie in all the different characters' perspective, and it's relatable. It's like, cool. I have a bond with that character on how he works and everything, right? With this one, it was just kind of like, well, I guess I guess Superman is back to life.
And he's evil again.
And he's evil again. Now he's bad guy. Like, how that happened. And now, well, here's Joker for 2 seconds. There's Cyborg. I guess his dad's dead now. And what's Barry Allen doing?
I can't take that Barry seriously, man. I can't. I just can't.
I can't either.
Nothing against him personally. It's just, after watching so much of the other, like that TV show, I can't take that Barry seriously.
I can't either. With that being said, I'm done talking about it. If anybody else out there watches it, just let us know what you think. And if I ruined it for you guys, that movie's been out for a while, so sorry. Your fault.
It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking about, different networks and streaming services and all that kind of crazy stuff, there's a Kickstarter that is funding a new streaming platform. And I'm not even going to try to pretend like I can say this word. The characters are literally MST3K, and that's the
Mystics.
Mystics. All right. Mystics. Let's go with that. Mystics. Yeah. And it says it's the amazing Gizmoplex, the first Cineplex on the moon. After multiple networks cancellations, cult favorite comedy show Mystery Science Theater 3000 turned into a Kickstarter in 2015 and to fund a comeback after raising more than $6 million. That's not no joke. If you can raise $6 million on a Kickstarter, I guess there's a demand. A feat that helped break several of the platform's records. Netflix picked up the series. However, that triumph was short-lived, with the streaming giant canceling the series in 2019. I haven't heard of this. Have you heard of them?
No. So they're trying to do a new streaming platform?
So it says that the creator, Joel Hodgson, and the company is launching yet another Kickstarter, but more than just raising enough money to film additional episodes, they want to build a virtual theater as well. What in the?
It's called Your Living Room. And if you want to watch TV in your living room, it's going to cost you $9.99 a month.
I don't understand.
This almost sounds as bad as your ISP is going to charge you for using your modem and router.
Stop it. Just stop it. So it says that it's going to be called Gizmoplex, and fans will be able to participate in watch parties. This sounds like Plex. It takes live events and more in trying to create its own distribution platform. They say that it's going to be a sustainable business model that will allow fans to decide how long they should keep going. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This hurts. This actually hurts reading it. Like, we're like, yeah, this is if you have to tell somebody this is a good business model, you can't say that in a pitch for the business model. I can't tell you this is a good cheeseburger and that's it. Like, I'd be like, no, this cheeseburger, it's never frozen. They season it. They marinate it the day before. Like, they use Angus beef. Like, you can't just be like, this is good business, and we're gonna let the customers decide how long we're in business. Like, those two sentences hurt reading side by side.
I give this company 6 months.
I'm not trying to shit on anybody because at the end of the day, competition is good. But it's just I don't know if it's how the article is written. This is an article from Engadget that we're reading. I'm not sure if it's their perspective or whatever it is. I'm just at the point right now, and you guys have probably seen this over the past couple podcasts, that there's just so many streaming services that it feels like we're back in the cable days where they're nickel and diming us for everything that we want to watch.
I don't think they're gonna last. I honestly, I really don't think they're gonna last. right now, like you said, there's too many streaming services out there, and like honestly, if it's like if they're not doing these kind of bundles, it's not worth it. Like the best bundle right now is the freaking Disney one, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. That's the best bundle that you can get. Nobody else has anything that's even remotely close to it. I don't know, man.
The comments are funny too. Most people, exactly. One of the comments I see here is Plex already does this. What's the point? And then somebody else says, I always found, I'm going to say Mystic to be annoying. They weren't actually funny or witty. I'd prefer watching the movies they were talking over. So it sounds like they do some kind of commentary. I've never, makemoremystic.com. I guess you would go there to find more information. I don't know much about this, guys. If you guys have heard of this, I'm guessing that there's a lot of you out there that know of this and, you know, are either fans because they were able to raise $6 million in a Kickstarter in their initial campaign and be bought out by Netflix. So I'm sure there's a lot of you guys that feel some way about this stuff, but I have no idea.
Yeah.
Nothing.
I no idea. I don't know what it is. It doesn't sound like it's gonna last that long anyways. Sounds like they just try to copy Plex. Let's do Plex Plus. It's like well, I'm not even gonna bring that up, but yeah. I'm not even gonna go there. Okay, Discovery Plus is the latest streaming service to land on Comcast Xfinity set-top boxes. This is what I'm talking about. When you could get bundles, this is where it becomes worth it. Now, of course, Xfinity probably won't be available for everybody. Depends on where you live. Depends if they have it in your area. But if you have Comcast Xfinity, you got one of their boxes. Comcast is adding, yet again, another streaming service to its Xfinity Flex and X1 set-top boxes. Discovery Plus is now available on the streaming-only Flex platform, and it'll arrive on X1 boxes in the coming weeks. A subscription to Discovery Plus is about $5 a month, or if you want ad-free, $7 a month. I think right now they're saying that Discovery, they have about, dozens of originals, about 55,000 episodes, which 55,000 episodes doesn't mean much to me. The Simpsons probably has about that much anyway. I'm more interested of what does it include. So I know people might ask, what does it include? So this includes BBC Natural History Projects, nonfiction content from A&E, History Channel, and Lifetime. I don't know if I'm too excited about it. If you like, I know A&E's got like Walking Dead, and A&E's got like some good shows. I don't know. If you like this stuff, this sounds like it's going to be a good bundle. Especially if you have the Xfinity, might as well. But they kind of should include it with something else,
Here's my take on this. I'm at the point now where I don't even care what comes in your streaming service. My problem is you all start at $5 and somehow end up at $10 to $20. Right? If all of the streaming services stayed at the price they initially came out with, then there's no issue with getting all of them.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind, right? And it's very interesting that their initial pricing is very similar to things like Peacock, where it's a different price for the ad-free versus the one with advertisements. And cool. I mean, back when everyone had a cable box, an actual cable box, there was commercials. Whatever. It is what it is. So if you're going to tell me, you can get Netflix, Disney Plus, Peacock, Discovery, Paramount, all of them for $5 and each, and they're going to have advertisements, to me, that's a lot of choices. If I got to put up with some ads, cool. And then they said, okay, then it's going to be $10 without advertisements all across the board for each of them. All right, you're going to give me 4K content, ad-free, $10 each. Okay, I can get a couple connections. I'm down. But the moment they start to cross that $10 price point, I have an issue with them. I just, because you're gonna want because there's so many different ones. If you're going to want to watch one single show and it's only available on Discovery Plus or Peacock, then do you really want to spend more than that $10 a month? I wouldn't.
So we just right now and before we talked about Disney and their bundle, Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN. I think it's like $12.99 or $13.99 a month. So it's a little bit over that 10 mark, but you get not just one, you get multiple.
Right.
And within the one, like Disney, you get multiple just within that one.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
So when I see this too, I totally agree with you with how far is too much. Like, if you're just like, hey, I'm gonna get Amazon Prime, and it's what, like $100 for the year or whatever, and it includes the shipping and like all that. If you break it down,
I think it's 120. I think
120. So it's about $10 a month.
Yeah.
So okay, let's break it down. If you got that for $10 a month, you got Disney's bundle thing. So now you're talking about $23 a month for Amazon Prime, Disney, Hulu, ESPN. HBO Max is what, $10?
I think so. I'm not too familiar with the prices because I don't have any of those services, man.
I don't know. And then, yeah, so let's just say HBO Max another $10. Netflix is like $20. Now it's gonna start racking up pretty damn fast, like pretty fast. So it's kind of like I just wish like Discovery Plus. I'm just like, dude, how are you guys even like why aren't you guys grouped up with somebody else? Like Paramount Plus to me sounds like, okay, this is a studio that creates movies and TV shows. They're basically more on the movie side. You always see them Paramount Pictures. You'll see the big old thing. But of course they're going to be using their same studios for TV shows. So Paramount Plus to me sounds like, okay, here's a big juggernaut that is creating their own streaming platform. Sony should do the same. But what they should do is they need to bundle this stuff together, man. Discovery Plus, they need to say, hey, like HBO Max, hey, Discovery Plus, you guys come with us and we'll slot you guys in. Like if HBO Max did this, or maybe even if it's Paramount Pictures or Paramount Plus, dude, if Paramount Plus said, hey, you know what? We'll do Paramount Plus, we'll do Peacock, and we'll do Discovery Plus, dude. And then we'll charge whatever Disney's doing, $13.99 a month for all three of them. That's the way to do it. And even though when you start doing the math and you're like, okay, that's $30 for all of that stuff, that's when you got to start picking and choosing. Because Peacock has a grip ton of TV shows. They do have some original stuff and they got some movies. But Paramount Plus is where you're going to get all those movies. And then Discovery Plus, that's like a special, that's like Disney, that's like Disney's National Geographic stuff.
I really want to agree with you because I do, but there are certain points of me that don't. And it's because, once we start building all these bundles again, it takes us back to the cable, right? And the whole point that everyone left cable was because we got all these bundles, but there was only one or two channels that we actually watched. So inside of these streaming bundles that we're building in our head, imaginarily, I don't even know if that was a word, but whatever. There may only be one of the services in there that you actually watch, and then we get back to the same point where cable had us pigeonholed, that we had to pay $30 to get access to this one streaming service here and this one streaming service over there.
And yeah, I do see where you're coming from on that, where it kind of does suck that, like I might have a TV show that I like over there, but that's all I'll need it for. And over here we'll never, ever, ever, ever get it. But when you look at it like Netflix has had a freaking
hell of a ride.
Hell yeah. It's just been like we're the streaming juggernaut, this is the bar, Netflix, and everybody else is below us. I get that part, But at the same time, when there's new shows coming or new stuff coming or new whatever coming, if you're on one ecosystem, you never know what you're missing. So at that point, it doesn't really matter unless you jump in on it by accident. But I don't know. I think it's I do agree that this slowly looks like it's coming to more of the cable prices, but you got to keep in mind too, basic cable was like here, I think it was like 30 or 40 bucks a month just for like 30 channels, dude. It was like you got nothing. And then they're like, "Oh, let's give you like the introductory plan." Now it's like double the cost, but they say, "Hey, you get like 300 channels that you'll never look at." But oh, you want HBO? $10. You want Cinemax? $10. You want this other one? $10. And I think what they're doing is like Disney Plus, for example, if they're just like, hey, instead of doing like $10, $10, $10, $10, $10, $10, and you're now all of a sudden paying like $40, $50 for all these channels, like Disney's saying like, hey, we'll do Disney. We'll give you all of our stuff, the vault and everything, Marvel, National Geographics, Star Wars, original stuff, just like Netflix. By the way, let's just buy out Hulu. Now we're competing directly with Netflix. And people like sports. Why not throw ESPN Plus in there instead of paying like $40 to $50 for all these extra stuff? You're going to pay $13.99 a month. Now, with that motto, these other companies should follow suit, because now instead of one person saying, like Time Warner, Comcast, Cox Cable, whatever it is, instead of one company saying like, hey, you could get everything under us for $200 a month, it could be like, hey, we're going to get rights to certain things. And it's going to, yeah, sure. If you want Disney and Netflix, we're two separate companies. You're going to have to pay 13 whatever over there, and you're going to have to pay us another 20 over here. It's still kind of saving you, but I think you need to pick and choose what it is that you want. And yeah, at the end of the day, like with what you're saying, you might have to miss out on something else if another company owns it.
You know what's happening right now? I think that this strategically is happening the way it's happening. So they are conditioning the end users, their customers, to potentially see the value of the bundles in the future. They all come out with their each individual service at a certain price. They raise the prices to a point where people will no longer pay for the individual services at that price point. And then they start bundling it up, and then it's cable all over again. And then you have to decide as a streamer, as someone that enjoys entertainment, how much of what entertainment that you like and what it costs to you, right? And if you're someone that doesn't really care to stream everything under the sun, maybe you're going to go over to a service like what's it called, Vimeo or whatever, the one where you can actually rent movies and whenever you want to watch them, or you can build a catalog or whatever you want to do. Or maybe you're going to use something like, Plex and Crackle and all those ones to get free ones whenever you can get free ones. You kind of just put it on as white noise while you're cooking in the kitchen or you're doing whatever you're doing. Because there's more and more people. Yes, there's a lot of people that use streaming services to watch your Disney Plus and your Netflix, but there's a hell of a lot of people out there that watch more YouTube than they do actual movies and TV shows. So it's an interesting world that we live in, and we don't know where we're going. It's up to you to decide what entertainment means to you and what you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah. And I do think I do see what you're saying, how they're slowly trying to get into this whole battle thing of paying more money. But at the same time, I don't think prices will ever be how it was before with cable prices. Like you heard it yourself with some of the people that we've had before. We're like, hey, how much do you pay for TV? And they're like, oh, like $300, $400. We're just like, for what? Like, dude, like really? But you know what? I think if these guys start smartening, dude, dude, Disney owns like ABC. and ABC Studios, they have a grip ton of stuff in there. Dude, they got the news, they got their own TV shows, they got sporting events. If they could come out and say, hey, if you get our stuff, we could give you a couple free channels that are live.
Yeah.
Like ESPN Plus, you get some sports stuff in there. Dude, throw ABC in there for like $1 more a month or whatever, and you get free TV. You could easily just cut out many other things and pay less than $20 for your entertainment.
This is what I was saying about Fubo TV. I was saying that Netflix needs to pick up something like Fubo, because Fubo also includes, your BN Sports. It includes sports channels, includes Fight Network, stuff like that. So if Netflix was to include something like that, they would have more value to bring to the table. If they included something like this, I'd be like, $20 a month. I'm getting some BN Sports. I'm getting the Fight Network. I'm getting some other things included with it to compete against, maybe Disney's $13 or whatever it is. It makes it more justifiable to me. But with the price points the way they are, and me not watching TV and movies as much as maybe some other people, I can't justify paying that for myself. So
yeah,
it is what it is.
I'll tell you this: that Disney bundle, I'm on it all the time.
Yeah, that's the one that we always say has the best value. Maybe we're biased because of our perspective and what entertainment we value, right? Now, somebody could like Marvel, and then someone else could say, I only want to watch the Women's Network. Well, cool. Then you pay what you pay for what you want to watch.
Yeah. There's plenty of options out there nowadays that you don't, like, you could easily cut the cable and pay for a streaming service that won't break the bank. Like, I think YouTube, I don't know how good YouTube's live TV stuff is, but people seem to like it, and YouTube even has a free movies and TV shows section. Yes, they have ads, but at least it's free. You don't have to pay for it. And for me, honestly, I don't mind the ads. I kind of like to see like, hey, what's coming up? They're like, oh, the new Samsung Galaxy 2022. It's like, what? Like, what is that?
You know what my issue with a lot of these advertisements are? How are they always buffer free and play better and higher quality than the actual content? And I'm like, yo,
it's like, here we go.
That'll come through. It's like Dolby Atmos sound, PHX, boom.
Yeah, explosions.
Anyways, I'm just gonna finish this off and just say my advice to everybody when it comes to these services: prioritize what means the most to you and determine its value to you, how much you're willing to spend on what content is important to you. And the good thing is that they're not locking you into contracts. So let's say you want to binge watch The Office, and I think The Office is on Peacock. Well, shoot, you could pay for Peacock for a month, binge watch the show you want, and then jump back to Disney Plus the next month, right? It's completely up to you guys how you guys want to manage your money and your entertainment. So,
you know what? Actually, before you move on to the next thing, that's actually a very good, solid point, because if you don't want the Disney bundle because you're just like, I'm not a Star Wars fan, I'm not a Disney fan, I'm not a Marvel fan, but I like Hulu because they got a show called The Handmaid's Tale. Okay, sweet. You like exactly what you said. You could pay $6 a month, not a month. You could pay $6 for the month. Watch what you want to watch and be like, oh, wait, The Office is now over here on Peacock. Cool. Let me cancel this now and let me try that one for $5 a month or $7 a month, no ads. And then be like, ooh, there's Cobra Kai is now on Netflix. Okay, let me cancel this next month and now jump over there. Yes, it takes a little bit of work to make sure you do. And this is what I tell people too. I'm just like, hey, this is what you can do. As soon as you pay it, cancel it.
Yeah.
Instantly, so you don't forget. And then when it expires, you're just like, oh yeah, I was going to try this other service. You'll know as soon as you try to log in, it doesn't work anymore.
Or you could run off gift cards, right? I have a gift card for Netflix for this month and a gift card for
There you go. And see that it is a little bit of work, but you'll be paying, nothing almost.
If you did it with the gift card option, you could actually budget your finances for your entertainment for the whole year. You would start off the year with your gift cards for every service that you want to use, and then as soon as the gift cards are done, your entertainment budget's done and your finances are good. Hey.
Yeah. And then what's great too is once you're done with everything, then you can make a decision.
Right.
Which one do I want to keep? Or
Right.
do I even really need anything?
And here's an interesting thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that, with Disney Plus, you pay $6.99 a month or whatever it is, right? And then they have their premieres, which are around $30, right?
Mhm.
Now, the interesting thing is those premieres also show up as rentals on other platforms for the same price. So even if you didn't have Disney Plus, you don't have to pay the $6.99 to watch that blockbuster that you wanted to watch at home. Now,
Trying to save you guys money.
there you go. Here's a question for you. Back when actually, I think this was before the pandemic, they were playing around with the idea of streaming theater releases from your home through different platforms. And I heard that some directors were getting upset. Like they were legitimately mad that people were able to watch their theatrical releases in their own home. And the rebuttal that I was reading was the directors were pushing this to be released and experienced a certain way, right? Now, obviously, through the actual pandemic itself, we couldn't do that. Like people couldn't go to the theaters and we had to stay at home and it is what it is. Like even right now where I live, they've shut down everything, even the schools, like everything is shut down. When you go to the stores, you can only buy groceries. That's it. And they've talked about in other places and other countries and other cities in the States, reopening back up the theaters, right? So Warner Brothers is going back to theater first releases in 2022, only theaters releases. Now, for one, I'm going to say I'm happy they're saying next year and not this year. Mm-hmm. But what's kind of your thoughts on that whole perspective of one, some directors saying that they only want their theatrical releases to be viewed on the big screen versus the in-home experience, because I do believe that more and more people have invested into their at-home entertainment and less and less are inclined to actually go to a theater these days.
I think if they haven't learned anything, and I know these guys are it's greed. It's all about money. But if they're smart, why not charge $30 to watch it at home? Saying like, hey, you know what? We're gonna like here's a good example. Here's a really good example. And this is what I'm really personally gonna do. Let's just say a new Avengers movies comes out, right?
Yeah.
New Avenger movie, and we have all these new characters and all this stuff and everything. Disney Plus is gonna say, hey, Premiere Access, $30. You could watch this Premiere Access at home for $30. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna release it in theaters for whatever amount they charge. Mm-hmm. $10, $12, whatever it is, right? You only get to watch it once when you go to the theater versus if you have it at home, you can watch it as many times.
Right.
And if you have a shared account, everybody gets to watch it.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Right. So this is what I would personally do. And I'm not joking about this. Let's just say this Friday.
Right.
The release comes out, right? I'll be there at the theater watching it in IMAX. On opening night, I'll go to the theater and watch the Avengers movies because I love to watch that movie and that freaking giant screen with all their surround sound speakers that's blasting loud. I want that full experience, right?
Right.
Here's the thing. I'll come home and I'll probably buy it anyway.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to want to watch it again anyway later.
Yeah.
And instead of me going back to the theater to watch it, now I could watch it from home.
Right.
And I could tell my family, hey, guess what? You guys have access to this now too, so that way you guys can watch it. I paid for it. Don't worry about it. They could actually double down for people who, and you know what? There's going to be people out there that are be like, hey, I don't trust freaking COVID, because COVID's still going to be around next year. Let's be honest with this. It's not going to completely be gone.
Yeah.
There's going to be people. Yeah, it's the new norm. Yeah. And you know what? There's going to be people that are never going to go back to the theaters. And there's people that don't like to go to the theaters even before COVID.
Yeah.
They wait until they could watch it on Netflix or watch it somewhere else.
Right.
Dude, if they have access to this thing on their streaming apps at home, people will buy it. And if they want to say, hey, if they want to say we're going to first release it out in wherever in the theaters, do it on a Wednesday, Thursday, and then by the weekend, throw it on the apps. And dude, they could double down. They could double down in theater money and they could double down on app money.
You know, initially when you told me or we talked about Disney charging that $30, I was ignorantly upset about it. But when you started to explain the value and the ability to share the accounts, now, regardless if they're just turning a blind eye for now about you guys sharing the account or not, because we've seen places like Netflix start that way and then change their mind and all that kind of stuff. So it is what it is. Right now, there is very, very good value when it comes to that $30 Premier Access. And I think that as time goes on, more and more services, or what do you want to call them, box offices, or I don't know, whatever you want to call them, they're going to realize that that is going to be the new norm. They're going to have to charge a premium because it says here in the article, during 2021, Warner Brothers theatrical releases are available to every HBO Max subscriber for 30 days. And we're talking about things like Godzilla vs. Kong, Mortal Kombat, Space Jam, Dune, and The Matrix 4. Those are all pretty interesting movies, and I'm interested in actually watching every single one of those, right? And if there's going to be any, and then they say it's no extra cost. Cool. That's to entice people because right now, most people are gravitating either from or to Disney Plus or Netflix. The other platforms have to give people something to sink their teeth into before they start charging that $30 or $20 or whatever they want it to be.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. And you know, there's going to be people out there that say I'll never pay $30 because I would rather just wait till it comes out for free later on HBO or something or Showtime and that's fine. That's completely up to you. People who really love to see some of the stuff in theaters will say I won't pay $30 when I can go to the theater by myself, pay $10, and it's, you know, I save a lot of money. Now, you know what? I'll give it a value. If I'm watching a movie by myself at home, and if I have to pay $30, if I watch that movie 3 times, it's paid.
Yeah.
Now here's the other thing. A lot of people like to get popcorn and freaking soda.
Right.
I'm not going to spend freaking $20 on 2 drinks and a little tiny thing of popcorn. I'm going to get my giant thing of popcorn and I'm going to get whatever drink that I want. I could get alcohol. I could have a barbecue. I could have whatever I want and eat whatever I want. And it won't cost me an arm and a leg.
We have to understand that it's also cost displacement though, right? Like those things that you get as accessories to your entertainment experience when you go to a theater, that all goes towards that experience, right? So if you're paying more for the movie and less for the food, the drink, whatever it is, it's all going towards that same experience. And it's what I consider to be a cost displacement, right? Yep. You're able to save on the food. You may pay a little bit more on the ticket price, but it is what it is, right? Because they do charge a little bit more to give you that experience, to pay for the actual overhead and the building and the employees and whatever else goes on and a bunch of other stuff that we probably don't need or don't care about. But that's what it is. That's entertainment.
Yeah. And you know, and like I said, I'm not crazy when I do say for like Avengers movies, especially Avengers, I love watching it in the big screen. And I'm going to continue watching it. I like that whole 3D experience. I'm going to do that whole experience with it. And I have a 3D TV too.
But that's no different from people that would go to the theater and then purchase a DVD or a Blu-ray when they got home. when it came
Same
out.
thing.
Because, you know, we have to understand the experience was everybody lined up to go watch a movie, and then we would wait 3 to 6 months for it to come out on some kind of medium.
Yep.
Right now, because of, you know, the internet and social media and, you know, the whole, you know, millennial of things, that production has sped up tenfold, right? Where we can actually have it in our hand the day that it comes out in theaters, which is something if you asked somebody 20 years ago, they wouldn't have believed you.
Yep. Yeah.
So
there's a lot of pros and cons. You guys just have to decide on what you want to do and how you want to do it. With this one, with Warner Brothers coming back, okay. Like, I think they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot, because if HBO Max is saying like, hey, dude, we're gonna pay you $2 million for us to stream this, as you know, on our platform, and you guys could release it, why not? You know, why not? You know, maybe make another deal. I don't know how the money thing works with all this stuff, but
yeah.
I think what they should do is, if they're not waiting until 2022, they should really strongly consider in saying, let's test this out this year. We'll put some stuff in the theaters and we'll put some stuff on HBO Max.
Right.
We'll see how much money we make. I really do hope Disney does not take away their premiere access. I really do hope they say, hey,
I don't think
like, let's do both, you know?
So just quickly, the article says, if you want to catch the Batman on opening weekend next March, which is in 2022, it's so weird these years, right? Because we're in 2021, next year is 2022. And I was rewatching one of our previous podcasts, 2027 is the Hotel in Space, which is not that far away. But anyways, it says that you'll need to head to the theater, but not just any cinema next year. Regal Cinemas in the US for 45 days and Cineworld in the UK for 31 to 45 days will have the first dibs of these movies. Now, remember, that's not that bad. It's only a month, right? Back in the day, I'm going to sound like a boomer, but back in the day, we had to wait months for this stuff to come out, even on a streaming platform. Yeah. So, but I do think that even if they go this route, yes, they'll have first dibs, but that I think that's going to change very shortly after, where they may have first dibs in the first quarter, and then they're going to realize they can capitalize on doing something like a Premier Access. So, yeah, for sure. I see Premier Access coming to all the big theatrical releases in the future. I could be completely wrong, but I don't see why companies would miss out on that revenue.
Yeah,
and there's value. So,
yeah, we'll see. I you know, even with Disney and how they're currently doing it, it's even if it's a week, like, hey, we're going to do a week in the theaters and then a week later we'll do the Premier Access.
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah, for real.
Whatever, you know.
I mean, the way that you and I watch TV shows, we wait until almost the last episode's out anyways. So,
yeah. By the way, I'm going to start, I think Falcon and the Winter Soldier is almost done.
They're on the 4th episode right now.
Okay, so 2 more weeks.
How many episodes does it have? Isn't it like 8 or 9?
I thought they said 6.
I'm going to Google that right now.
I thought they said 6. So for anybody that's out there and they're kind of wondering what I'm talking about, is I don't watch any of the Marvel stuff. I don't watch the commercials. I don't watch nothing. But WandaVision.
6, you're right.
WandaVision, when
only 6?
I know. I heard there's only 6 and that's it. So I'm as soon as I heard how many episodes there is and they say, okay, we got 1 more week left. That final week is when I binge. Every day I'll just watch. And then right when it gets to the final airing, that's usually when, okay, cool, this is my last episode. So I've been dying. I did do this. I watched, what is it? Captain America Civil War.
Okay.
I rewatched that because I know it has something to do, based on how they left the end of Avengers 4. I'm like, let me watch that movie because Falcon's a big character in there, and so is Bucky's. Like, the whole reason for that Civil War movie was because of Bucky. And I'm like, let me watch that. Let me watch Bucky. Let me watch some of the Captain America movies because Falcon is in there and they do this whole thing with Falcon.
Right.
So I was like, let me just see some of this stuff again and see who's involved and where.
Right.
And just okay. I'm gonna say this one thing. Have you watched anything of it?
Of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I've been watching it.
Okay. So
I won't say anything though, but yeah.
Don't say anything.
I won't even give you a reaction. You're not gonna get anything from me.
Okay. So I want to say one thing based on some of the movies that I've rewatched, and actually I kind of rewatched almost a lot of the movies. And okay, so based on WandaVision, based on some of the kids, aka Young Avengers, that are slowly coming into the picture, there should be so far they've been introducing like a kid in like the last several movies. Ant-Man, freaking his daughter, and then they had Hawkeye, and they had Wanda's Vision's kids, and freaking Iron Heart. It should be Iron Heart, Iron Man's daughter. Dude, there should be, and of course, don't tell me nothing, but there should be a black kid in this one. I think his name is Ezekiel, and I think he is something Shield. But he's supposed to, if I have this right, because Falcon and the Winter Soldier with comic books, it's just based on comic books and based on stories from Captain America, that this kid is going to be like the next guy that carries that persona. So there should be a little boy in there. I don't know if he's a teen or I don't know if he's a preteen or maybe a young adult, but there should be a character that comes in here that's a kid. I forget his name. Shield something, Iron Shield. No, I don't know, but that's my prediction. That's my prediction.
Everyone who's been watching, if you feel one way or the other about what Rojas just said, I just want you to comment one word. Either he's right or he's wrong. That's it. Don't tell him anything else. That's it, right? And he's probably going to catch up to probably episode 4, I'm guessing, by the end of next week. So by the time you watch this, he may start watching it. So it'll be interesting. I don't want you to give any context. If you feel passionate enough to say anything, just say yes, no, I don't know. That's it. I'm not going to say anything because he's still going to have an opportunity to start watching. So I will say that it was interesting on some of the conversations that we had prior to me starting to watch anything in regards to how we thought the story would go versus how it's actually going. And I think that it is a very interesting conversation to be had prior to getting into a commitment, like watching these things and having conversations about how we mentally see something going. So it's pretty cool.
When is the next episode? Or when are the episodes, I should say? Fridays?
Number 4 just came out.
Was it on Saturday? Sunday?
Let's see. It was March 19th was the first episode.
Just the day. What day does the episodes air? Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday?
Like I know what days of the week anything is. Fridays.
Is it chicken wing day today?
Yeah, right? Every day is chicken wing day.
Every day is chicken wing.
Fridays.
So Fridays.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Same
episode 5.
Was it WandaVision Fridays too?
Yes. Well, yeah, Friday.
Yeah.
So, okay, so Friday, which means next Friday.
Mm-hmm. Is episode 5.
No. The 23rd should be episode 6.
23rd is episode 6. Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to start watching this
weekend.
how long are the episodes? An hour?
It doesn't really feel like a full hour. Probably like 40 minutes.
I'm going to start watching it a week from today. Today is a Tuesday. So I'm going to start watching it next week, April 20th. I'm going to start watching these things. So that way, by the time we hit the 23rd, I'm either going to be done with episode 4 or just done with episode 5, and then I'll begin episode 6.
There's no way. It says that the episode lengths are 61 minutes, around 60 minutes. Doesn't feel like that, but hey, I guess.
Okay, so I'm going to start watching it April 20th, and hopefully by the 23rd, I'll be watching the last episode. And if I don't watch the last episode on the 23rd, I'll be watching the last episode on the 24th.
On the weekend, yeah, you'll finish it off on the weekend. Yeah, that sounds like a good plan for you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll be right there. and then I'm pretty sure we're going to be recording another conversation on how close was I or how way off I was.
I want to say stuff, but I'm not going to.
I know you want to. I can see your eyes going around. Yeah. You're like, okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything. Let's just,
yeah. So stay tuned to the next episode, everybody. You never know what is going to happen. I'm glad to be back. Glad to be having these conversations.
Or where the conversations are going to go. Because we'll start on one topic and then you're going to get a rant. That's how it is now.
Yeah, that's how it is. So let us know what you guys think. Make sure you guys always leave us a comment. Make sure you guys let us know. Next time, any last words you got to say before we get out of here?
You know, I always try to remind you guys that I know that there's a lot of you guys that appreciate the conversations. There's a lot of you guys that enjoy the conversations. You know, you put it on in the background while you're working, while you're doing whatever. It's your white noise and whatever it is. It is what it is for you, and you appreciate the conversations. I just want to remind you guys there's a whole lot of people out there that also appreciate the conversation as well, too. And the only way they're going to find it is if you actually do some kind of engagement. You comment, you thumbs up, you give us a review, all that kind of stuff. This channel has so much room for growth, and there's so much good conversations to be had, and so many good conversations that have already been had. We are getting close to 130 podcast episodes since we started doing this. So it's not like we're not committed. It's not like there's not enough episodes or content. Religiously, we are putting out several episodes a week for you guys on a variety of different contexts and content, as well as bringing in people that Rojas, myself, and you guys probably never thought you would have heard a perspective from. People like Turtle Beach, robotics companies, companies that do different applications for businesses. It's insane. So just make sure that you are engaging, not just mentally, but virtually with the podcast.
Absolutely. Cool. So hope you guys have appreciated today's episode. Stay tuned to the next one. Yeah. And we'll see you guys soon.
Peace. Peace.